What's up, Hunters? Solidic here with another Season of Discovery Phase 2 guide for both leveling and dungeon grinding. While there are a few approaches you can take for your journey to level 40, there's no doubt that spell cleave groups farming the Scarlet Monastery dungeons are pulling the best experience in the game right now. And if you're a hunter, you could absolutely be joining these groups for insane XP. For this build, you want to use the following runes: Heart of the Lion on your chest, Exposed Weakness on your waist, Serpent Spread on your legs, Trap Launcher for your feet, and Explosive Shot on your hands. As for talents, I dumped all of my points into survival for this build. You get the additional raw damage output versus humanoids and other creatures. You get Savage Strikes just to kind of fill the points here for melee, but Entrapment is going to give you the chance to root your enemies in your explosive and your frost trap, which is huge. Then you get the additional duration on your freezing traps, but also the damage done from your immolation explosive goes up by 30%. Big explosive trap damage there. And then you get the decreased resistance with Trap Mastery. Beyond that, you will actually be feigning pretty frequently with the early burst damage you can do with double trapping in some of these pulls. You're going to want to improve Feign Death. And then Sure-Footed giving you more hit chance, and of course, giving you the ability to reduce movement impairing effects. Is nice. Not going to hurt. Gotta spend the points somewhere to get down to the next tiers either way, so Killer Instinct's gonna get you 3% more crit, and then you're gonna put the rest of your points into Lightning Reflexes. If you've got one extra point after this, you can grab Wyvern Sting, you can throw it on Deterrence, you could, I think I put it, over here on Hawk, 1 point in Hawk. Do whatever you want with that last point. Not going to be super relevant since this is mostly a leveling build either way, but you can use it for just dungeon blasting, trying to get those pre-bis items if that's something you want to do as well. Aspect of the Viper is another very relevant thing here. This gives hunters the ability to have basically unlimited mana, and it can drop off any boss in Scarlet Monastery as far as I know. While I do suggest you collect every rune, you will need to at least be level 34 for Explosive Trap and to have unlocked Trap Launcher and Explosive Shot runes for this to work. If you do still need to collect the other runes from Phase 2, I have guides for every single rune on my channel, so please go check them out. Okay, so with spell cleave groups, you'll typically be running a Paladin or Warlock for the tank because they have good AoE, Priest or Druid for heals, and then an assortment of ranged DPS with big AoE damage. Mages will pretty much always be king here, but hunters can do really good damage, and we provide Heart of the Lion for the group, plus the utility from our traps to really help out with these pulls. Here's how the pull should go. As your group is preparing to pull the next group of enemies, place your frost and explosive traps down either in the choke point near this line of sight location, or wherever your tank plans to stack the enemies. As your tank pulls the enemies into the designated location, your traps will trigger, and by now, your trap should be off cooldown as well. Cast Explosive Shot and Multi-Shot, and then once all enemies are properly gathered up and clumped, use Explosive Trap again. While Explosive Trap does do a fair amount of damage with the DOT, it's really the initial explosion that does the bulk of the damage. As a result, you really do want to be using Explosive Trap as soon as it comes off cooldown to maximize your DPS. Beyond that, just keep spamming Explosive Shot and Multi-Shot accordingly, and you'll really be able to pump during these fights. As for Frost Trap, I do encourage you to open with it, but you don't always need to spam it like your Explosive Trap. However, it does indeed help out in situations where your tank loses aggro, or even if your tank dies. With Entrapment talents, both of our traps have a 25% chance to root the enemies in place, and this is on every single tick from the trap. So this has definitely been something that has saved my groups from wipes on multiple occasions. Now this build isn't only good for leveling in Scarlet Monastery, by the way. You can take it to any dungeon, and you can take it to dungeons at level 40 when you're questing or trying to grab those last pre-bis items before you go to Gnomergin and get the best items you possibly can for your character. I don't think this style is necessarily going to be good when it comes to raiding. I think Melee Hunter is looking to be the best. We'll see both Marksman and Beast Mastery have their place as well. But this explosive style really is for the Spell Cleave AoE group, and it's a ton of fun. You could take this build to Stranglethorn Vale because the entrapment's really good there. But really, I just thought it was a lot of fun. We got crazy XP with the Spell Cleave group. I mean, really can't encourage people enough to do this if they're trying to get really fast XP in Scarlet Monastery. Hope this video helped you out, and if it did, give it a like, subscribe to my channel for more Season of Discovery content, and enjoy the rest of this Scarlet Monastery Cathedral run.
They must be purified.
Arise, my champion.
At your side, my lady.